What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG.
And I'm NB.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 3 finale. It's called Episode 22, and it's called Chapter 57, Apocalypto.
And don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending of the podcast because we're going to go through our final recap roundups, our best moments, our best lines. It's the season finale. It's going to be good. We're both happy. We're both satisfied. And
Yes.
Don't forget, if you haven't already, we are doing a video live chat party, rap season finale rap party tomorrow.
Yes.
Right, at 8 p.m. Eastern, but it's only available on our Patreon. So if you're not a member, go right now, patreon.com/recap_rewind and sign up so you can party with us.
And we can talk all about it in even more detail than we're going to cover in this podcast. As always, to our continued listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this episode. What did you think?
Let's get into it. Honestly,
tell me everything.
I'm happy. I am satisfied. I
Yay.
am like, my soul feels full. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of that was that they did make fun of themselves a lot. Like they did. Towards the end, they ripped themselves. They were like, we're never gonna do these things again. We're never gonna like deal with monsters and cults ever again.
No
okay, guys? We're just gonna go back to school. I'm like, thank you.
For sure. And I think, to your point, I think the thing that we know that NB loves more than anything else is real life high school drama. And they suddenly found a way to fit that into the storyline as well. So I was like living for it. Like all the little makeups and breakups and loving each other and being best friends. I was like, whoa. Just
a couple of throwbacks to season one even. And I was oh my God, like they're coming back. They're coming back. And I think we really do end off in such a strong position leading up 100%. To season 4. So I'm totally confident that like I feel like they definitely listened to all of us this season.
Yes.
And they were like, okay, guys, we're getting too freaking crazy. Like, let's tone it down. So
for sure.
Confidence in season 4. Let's finish this podcast. We gotta wrap it up.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's start.
All right, so we're gonna break this up into like all the main sections. The first one's gonna be the intro of the episode. Then we're gonna talk about the dinner because that kind of happens in the very beginning. Then we're gonna go switch right back to the ascension and that whole storyline, and then we're gonna go back to the hunt, and then the conclusion of the episode, which kind of breaks down all the tangs at the end, and that final season piece. I was like, whoa.
Yes.
Okay, so right in the intro, it's Tony talking to Penelope. She's back at, I don't even think it's Thistle House. Like it's like some, oh no, she is at Thistle House. Like Penelope's like, I was picking up my mail and I saw you and here you are. So anyway, Penelope's like talking to her and she gives her some tea. And already Tony's like, there's all this stuff happening at the farm. You have to save Cheryl. And she drinks this tea. Obviously, I'm like, why are you trusting this bitch? She's fucking crazy.
Seriously.
She drinks it, and obviously she passes out. And Tony's like, she's like gone now. And Penelope's like, cool, I'm gonna go to the farm and like steal shit. But that doesn't happen till later. And then it cuts to FP and Jugs talking. And while this whole thing is happening with Penelope, he's making a connection that he made like 17 episodes ago in the Red Dahlia episode. I'm going to call it lovingly the Kelly Ripa episode. And it was the whole thing with the maple and the matchbook being found. Club. Yeah. The matchbook being found.
I love how like FP in this moment's like, Jughead, we need to solve this case. Like, we gotta do it. I'm like, yeah, you are the sheriff. You had to do this like 10 episodes ago. Like,
that
what do you mean?
Your job. Yeah.
And like, Jughead's trying to figure out, what are you doing? You're just like sitting on your ass.
So anyway, so they need to investigate even further. So they're going to go to the Maple Club, and then it cuts to Edgar. And he's about to operate on Betty, and Evelyn's like, yo, you need to come right now. Like somebody came through for you, and it's Penelope. And she's basically saying like, I know what you've been up to here. I want to buy all the organs from you now. And I was like, okay, this is the one piece that like, I don't know if it connected. Just to talk about it really quickly.
Yeah,
there's no real connection between like Penelope and Edgar. Is that correct? Like there's
no connection other than the fact that she knew what he was doing. Like she's like, oh, now I know what you're doing. But I didn't understand the transaction from like buying parts
Right.
Of like a body to like getting Betty. Like I didn't get that connection.
Yeah. So she ends up buying Betty, basically.
Yeah.
Which we see later. So then it cuts back to the Red Maple and he talks to one of the prostitutes and you find out that Penelope was the one that was dealing with all the people. Like that's the thing. This whole thing could have been solved like literally like 17 episodes ago. I'm pretty sure we called Penelope like a while ago. Anyway, so the woman does mention though, she's like, yeah, Penelope's always been around with like her son Jason. And then Jughead's like so confused. He's like, but he's fucking dead. Like I don't understand what's happening. So then it cuts back to the sisters, A Quiet Mercy, and Edgar and Evelyn are talking with Alice, and Alice is like, "What's going on, guys? I'm so confused. Where's Betty? Where's my daughter?" And
now she's asking where her daughter is.
Like
cool.
of all, like now she's asking. Yeah. So Edgar's like, "Oh, she ran away with Tony. Let's just like get ready to ascend. Like people are starting to like talk about us and stuff, and I'm not okay with that." So then they leave the scene, and Cheryl's obviously like paying attention. She's like really sketched out by everything. The one thing that I was kind of confused by is they caught Cheryl like letting Tony go. I'm surprised that she's allowed to just like be around, you know, like she's like not locked up. She's not about to get operated on. Like she's just like there in her room. So she's watching this whole thing happen. Then it cuts to the lodge residence and the lawyer is like, yo, you and your mom like get pops and the bon nuit. And like you
which
also,
was a little weird because like if someone gets indicted for like a federal offense, like all of their assets get seized. Like they don't just like pass over to the wife and daughter.
We watched enough gangster shows to know that does not happen.
Yeah, because he could have bought it like criminally. Like and then Veronica's like, yes, I get to own pops again. Like I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Fine. But anyway, and then she calls Archie, and then he's like. It cuts back to the Andrew's residence.
Scene was so funny.
And he's like, oh my God, Mom, I get to keep like the boxing ring. He's like so happy. And Mary's like, that's cool and all, but like, where do you guys like stand? Because I'm like a huge VARCHIE shipper and like I really need to know.
Literally, like it was the dumbest line Mary Andrews has ever said. She's like, that's really cool, Archie, for you and for your like goals in life and your career. But like where are you and Veronica romantically? Because like I really want to know. And like I think I come back to him and he was like,
He was like, so confused. He's like, "Well, why?"
Yeah.
So then there's a ring on the doorbell, and he gets a box, and in the box, it shows them at Pops, and it's the three of them talking because Betty's still missing. They can't find her anywhere, and they're like, "We need him." Like there are all these invitations, and like we need to meet at this one place, and it looks like it's like a whole setup for the Gargoyle King. So like, okay, we gotta go. And then it cuts to this dinner. So we're gonna talk about the dinner now. And so Betty wakes up and she's like in a bed and like she gets the little card and it says wear this dress. So she goes downstairs in this like next level like
what did you think about this whole
gala gown?
Yeah, what did you think about this whole dinner?
I thought it was I feel like I knew what they were trying to do. But it was almost like so extra that I was like, we don't need this right now. Like, we don't need like a sit down dinner to explain the storyline and show how crazy Penelope is. Like, I was already there, like, as soon as like the episode started. So I was okay. I mean, I was okay with it. I went along with it. And it was cool to see, you know, like her bringing all of the core four back together and really wanting to explain the story. But what did you think about it?
No, I really did like it. I think visually, like, it looked really good. Everyone was, like, dressed up.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like it was, like, prom part 2, like, the real prom.
The real prom, the prom that we didn't get.
For, like, a hot second.
The lost
what
prom.
I didn't understand was, why is there a focus on the core 4? Like, why did Penelope only pick out the core 4 kids? Like, why wasn't, like, Kevin there or, like, Cheryl or, like...
That's
true.
Does she
explain why it was only the 4 of them?
I mean, she doesn't really explain why Kevin's not
like,
there.
We know why it's the 4 of them, but like, why did she only pick the 4 of them?
Yeah, it's true because she does.
I guess because she said like your parents didn't even care that I was
exactly
adopted.
That's the main. Yeah, that's the main reasoning. So what she tries to explain is you guys are the sons and daughters of the Midnight Club, but at the same time, it's true. Like Josie was a part of Sierra was a part of the Midnight Club. So was Tom. Yeah. Like they literally disappeared from the storyline. Like what the heck? So they're like, before we finish this all up, they're like, we need 2 more guests. That would have been the gag if like the 2 guests were like like Josie and like freaking Kevin.
Yeah.
That
or like sick. The Pussycats.
Yeah. Or the Pussycats. They're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So anyway, so it shows the Black Hood. Like he shows up and so does the Gargoyle King.
I love Betty's reaction when Hal takes off the hood.
What does she do?
Oh, fucking Jesus. Like her head, like she's like, oh
like,
God.
Like
my dad, really?
So yeah, so he's about to sit on the table, and then before the Gargoyle King takes off his mask, Jughead's like, I know what the secret is. Like, I know everything. So she's like, okay, why don't you like figure it out, you fucking detective? So he says something that like some author said, and he says, once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. And I'm like, guys, that's like the best way to explain this season. It's like,
but like,
if nothing makes so any sense,
if it's
probably the thing
that's
that
what it is.
Doesn't make any sense. That's the real thing.
I just find it funny that like this all kind of got unraveled because of someone name dropping Jason Blossom. Like if it wasn't, or like Chick, like if it wasn't even like,
it's true,
he would have never gotten there.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like, because he wouldn't have known. Anyways,
so it's Chick, obviously, as we predicted, and a lot of you guys predicted. Like, we had like a full out conversation during our last like reaction video. Thank you guys to everybody who like commented and took a look at it, but yeah, we basically like broke it down into that it was going to be Chick with a dyed red hair.
I think it was pretty obvious too, like the fact that Hal was chasing him last season, and like we never saw his death.
It's true.
We didn't see it on screen, so like it was kind of like, okay, where is this wild card of a character all season? Sure enough, he's the freaking like G&G King, like in the tree like costume.
This is the one part of the whole episode that I didn't like. The explanation, obviously, like the full reasoning as to why Penelope did all that she did. And what she does say is, your parents knew about my adoption when we were younger and they did nothing. Like they made fun of me. And then she says, like, your parents knew when Jason died and they did nothing to console me. And so now I'm going to like do the same to them and like kill one of you if you like pass this, don't
and,
pass
like,
this test.
Her plan even like started from the Black Hood. Like that was the gag too. It was like I get it. She's angry as a parent, like whatever, but like she literally was playing a hand in the Black Hood's like mission as well.
For sure.
For like cleansing the town and all that shit. So yeah, I was like, wow, mommy's been pissed.
Okay, so like, this is the reveal. Pissed. This is the whole thing. She's a true king. What do you think of this as the exposure? Like,
you know what? I didn't mind it. Like, I think it all kind of did make sense. I just feel like the journey along the way to get to this point took way too long. First of all, and I just feel like it could have been written differently. I think the clues and maybe how they got there, I don't know. I didn't mind it being her in the end. I didn't really care for it. So.
I didn't mind it, but it literally did feel like she was the only suspect out of all of them.
Yeah.
Since the beginning. So it's almost like it wasn't shocking, but then she came in at the very end and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I will say that it does suck now that you're looking at this whole situation. Cheryl is going to be she's going to go fucking crazy. She's literally going to go insane. She has no parents now, like zero parents. She
still has Nana.
She has Nana, but like Nana's like 97 years old. Like, how long is Nana gonna
Nana
last?
got a new wig though, eh? Nana got a new wig. Did you see that?
Nana with a new hair. Yeah. So anyway, so I don't know, like I know that at the end of the day, we already had like her dad as like the killer in the first one, and then this one was Penelope, and I hope now it's like over. There's nobody else that like, no more parents are going to be like criminals and kill people.
Except for Hiram, but like I feel like Hiram's going to stay more of like a criminal, like a
yeah, he'll be like coming and going. He'll like come out of jail.
White collar criminal, you know what I mean? Not like criminal. I'm starting a death call or like a freaking like murder like thing.
Right. So her thing is you're gonna prove your like nature. You're gonna die. You have to survive the night, bitches. And then she gets them to run, or the gargoyles are gonna kill them. So that's how it all kind of starts. But before we finish that story, I want to get to the Ascension / the Sisters of Quiet Mercy. So it starts off with Fangs and Kevin, and they're basically playing like patty cake. And Cheryl is like, what the hell? Like, I need to show them proof. And Kevin is still like doubtful. I'm like, girl, just fucking leave them. Who fucking cares about these bitches? They're fucking losers. I hate them. Just like, it's not a big deal. Just leave them. It's not a big deal. She's like, you want proof? I'm gonna find some proof. And I'm like, if Cheryl gets in trouble or
like
she
Betty
dies,
did this last week.
She literally did this just last week. Yeah.
And it didn't work.
So then Cheryl goes into a room and it's like a dark room and we don't see what the reveal is, but it's literally like somebody dead in like a chair and she starts screaming. Then it cuts to Alice talking to Edgar and she's like, I'm really concerned about Betty. Like, where is she? And I keep hearing these things about harvesting. Like, what's the deal with the harvesting? And then Edgar's like, yeah, there is something with the harvesting. Like, I don't know about your daughter, but like, I will tell you that there's some harvesting situation happening. Yeah. But he doesn't fully explain it, right? Like, he doesn't really say the reason why. And then at that moment, Cheryl like literally busts through the door and she's like, you fucking psychopath. Like, I can't believe you stole my brother's body. So I guess it's revealed that it was Jason's dead ass body.
That she sees, yeah.
That she sees. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, Edgar literally took him out of a grave? Like, that's fucking
yeah. And he was like, shit. He's like, I'm sorry, Cheryl. Like, I had to do something to like, you know, in your treatment. Like, I had to like convince you. So like, I took your brother's corpse from the grave.
I'm like, what?
Like, okay.
The amount of work that goes into that is actually crazy.
Like, all for what? To convince Cheryl to join the freaking
like
farm.
Just hypnotize him and put like chick in a fucking wig. Like, I don't understand. So anyway, at that point in time, they're like, take her away because she's like screaming, going crazy. Little does she realize that like she's not telling anybody the truth. Like, she screams all these things, but she's not looking at Alice to be like, yo, like
let's go.
He's fucking psycho. Like, we need to do something about this. She's like, you fucking bastard, I hate you. So she's screaming. Alice is like literally looking like the most confused person of all time. She's like, what's happening? And at this point in time, and I'm glad like how it all ended, but at this point in time, I was like, I cannot believe that Alice, after all this time, is such an idiot. Like, she's been the super sleuth for such a long time. It was just unbelievable. So the way they wrapped up her story, I know that
I'll just say this right now.
I know because I know that you talked about this like from back in the back. But go.
No, but like the way she ends off, obviously is we like her more. But Roberto admitted in an article that they changed her character in the middle of the season. Like, where she ends off wasn't where she was supposed to end off. Like, they were going to continue on with her dumbass storyline, her being hypnotized, her being freaking like, you know.
Probably because they heard our podcast and they were like, you need to finish. Yeah. You need to fucking change this.
He's like, literally, like, we went to the table and he was like, would Alice like really do this though? Like, she was such a like good investigator before. Like, would she really just like be convinced so easily?
Yeah.
And they literally changed the story. I'm like, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Because clearly, like, you know the real.
Like, you listen to our podcast. Yeah.
Because we had said that. Like, I know you said.
I think it's just really interesting to hear them actually admit that they go in there at some point in the middle and they literally change what they plan to do with these characters. Maybe because they're hearing us saying, not just us, like, of course, you guys too, as like the audience, for sure. It's being like, the whole what audience. The F is going on? Like, you know, when the community speaks out, they actually listen and like they maybe tweak things or they change things. Except for Kevin's storyline, they kept him as a loser. So that's
they ain't got nothing. I know that RAS over the week like was posting pictures of all the cast members, and then he got to Kevin's and he was like, hopefully we'll have a better storyline for you next season. And I'm like, bro, like that's all we can really.
Or he's gonna leave the show.
Yeah, he's gonna literally die at this point. So then it cuts to Tony and she wakes up and then Grandma Blossom is like kind of just like staring over her body. She's like,
Antoinette, why are you sleeping? Did you notice my new wig, darling?
She's like, it's time to wake up, bitch. We gotta go help people.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, what the hell is happening?
She's like, what the fuck's going on?
So while that's happening, Alice goes and helps Cheryl escape in the basement. And
with fake baby Juniper.
A fake baby Juniper.
That's all so fucking fake.
They didn't even give it any weight. Like it
was like a bag of peanuts. Like there was like nothing behind that.
It was like a bag of popcorn. It was like so light. And it was funny because Cheryl's like, I thought that they closed up this area. And like conveniently, Alice is like, oh no. They rewrote the storyline, so now it's open. Like
she's like, no. She's like, when Edgar came back into the show, Chad Michael Murray, they opened this area as well. Yeah. And Cheryl's like, oh, okay, cool.
Like,
all right.
RAS like realized that it's a total plot hole and we needed to open it up again. So that's what happened.
Stupid.
So she escapes with the baby, and then she sees Tony. Like Tony's like coming for her, and then Cheryl like they meet in the middle of the street or something. And she's like, baby.
She's like, no, not that baby. She's like, you. Because they tossed the baby to like one of the girls. Because she's still holding the fucking fake baby.
Yeah, she is. Oh my god, I'm dying. So they're like, we need to like figure this whole thing out. And then I am cutting to the very end of this storyline just because like just to finish it off. But this is after the end of the episode, and when they get out, the core 4 gets out of the forest and they break into Sisters of Quiet Mercy again because Cheryl says like, your mom is ascending tonight. Like, I don't know what's going on. And this is the part of the episode where I'm like, oh my God, it's not over yet. Like, seriously, I was like, I can't believe they're tying up all these storylines at the same time, which I was okay with. But they get to Sisters of Quiet Mercy. And Kevin's sitting there, and it's kind of eerie. It's really creepy. He's sitting there all by himself, and there's all these like clothes and shoes, and like everyone's gone, and he's like crying to himself. He's like, they left me, all the worthy, like they ascended. And Betty's like, where's my fucking mom? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, everyone's gone. You'll never see them again. And so what do you think that whole situation is? Let's break it down because I want this to be done by season 4, episode 1. Like, I'm done.
Well, we do know that there is some sort of like FBI investigation that's about to happen with that storyline as well. So definitely he took his call and he like dipped because like he probably knew that like they're onto him or like they're gonna like find something. So they left, like they physically left. Yeah. I just don't know why they left Kevin behind. Like that's so tight for Kevin. It was like, I mean, homie, like they didn't even wow you in their next call. Like
I guess they had to like. They probably drugged him, and then he thought that he like saw them ascend, but really it was like he probably hypnotized him. Ascend.
They just
dipped. But then he's able to tell the truth and like be like, oh yeah, they like ascended. I'm like, no one's gonna believe you fucking crazy person.
He's a loser. Ascended. I don't believe that loser. I can't with Kevin. Honestly, just can't. I really hope. I mean, I don't even hope anymore because I don't think it's gonna happen. But like.
Like, what do you expect?
His character sucked so bad
like,
this season.
It really reeked. Like, it really sucked. And I don't know what they can give him at this point that will make it all turn around. Because really, it was an extremely disappointing character. And I would love to know what your guys' thoughts, like what you guys thought about his character this season. And
like taking Reggie had more. Around. Like Reggie had better scenes that mattered way more to the actual plot than Kevin did at all. Like, that's pretty embarrassing because Kevin was like a major character before even Reggie got onto it, right?
For sure.
So, like, it's
for sure. I mean, at this point, I'm hoping that like it's his blood on everyone's hands at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to that because I'm really excited to talk about that. Anyway. We're going to go to the hunt. We're going to talk about the hunt. And essentially everybody has their own specific task, which I like the way it was laid out. Like the way that their whole situation was laid out was really cool. So first it starts out with Archie.
I did like the way, I like the way it was laid out. And I think too, it really did feel like a final mission.
Yeah.
It really 100%. Did feel like, okay, once they do this storyline like is fucking done. And you know me, I was so excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah. First, the Red Paladin, aka Archie, has to conquer the Grizzled Beast. And guys, I know that I keep talking about this reaction video, but like literally go back because we made it last week and we were trying to figure out who was chucking Archie like around because it looked like a demon monster.
Yeah,
thing.
Like he was throwing Archie in the air.
Yeah, and like literally during the edit, I say it while we were reacting to it. I'm like, is it like a bear? And then I was like, is this like another grizzly bear attack?
A demon or something?
And sure enough, he literally has to beat up a bear again, but it's like a fake bear. So it's some like juiced up like guy on steroids. It's like fucking Randy, like he's back to life and he like fucking kicks Archie's ass.
I just didn't understand, like I didn't get it because like how did they know that he fought a bear before?
I mean, I guess he like told the world that he like got
the
bear and he survived the bear attack. But I do not understand why this was his like this was his challenge. Like
I don't get why like the other like Veronica's, Betty's, Jughead's like I got theirs. I didn't understand why the bear was Archie's test. Like,
it should have. I don't know what it should have been. I guess
because he was the fighter, right? I guess because he was the fighter the whole time. So like, he finally had to fight his final thing. I don't know, whatever. I just don't get why it was a bear. Like, you think like, why a bear?
And you think that she would choose something that would like actually get him killed? You know what I mean? Like maybe she thought that he could actually lose against the bear.
When Jughead faced Chick, I kind of wanted Chick to face Archie. Like that would have been sick to see like two redheads naked going at it.
It was weird.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's so scrawny. He would have like killed him in 5 seconds. True. So anyway, so he like boxes the shit out of him. His boxing skill finally come in handy. And does he kill him? Like he literally
he
like busts his head open.
Yeah, with like a bone or something.
I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty fucking intense.
I was like, okay, so we're not gonna talk about Archie killing someone? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Like he just murdered someone.
He fucking murdered somebody for real. And I was like, okay, cool. So Varchie keeps having these like incremental amazing moments throughout
like
the
glaring
episode.
At each other.
So yeah, I think
sexual tension.
Sexual tension. And so yeah, Veronica like goes up to him. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy that you're alive. Are you okay?" And he's like, "I'm good."
Yeah,
so
like
then,
it really took him fighting this fake bear dressed as a person, whatever, for her to realize like, holy shit, I want him instead of Reggie.
She's so like, wow, he's
that
cool.
was her test.
That was her challenge. So speaking of her challenge, she was the next one up, and it was such a good, like, it was probably one of my favorite moments of the episode.
Yeah, it was.
It was spin the bottle and drink one of the chalices, and I think they had to like keep drinking them until one of them was gone, and they like one of them was filled with poison. So like either her or someone else was supposed to like drink it, and Betty volunteers as tribute, obviously.
Well, I think because it said like choose a person closest to you, and Betty's like me.
Yeah, she's like
nobody else, just me.
Yeah, she's like it's just me. So she drank like, and it was amazing because they cut to episode 1, guys. Oh
my god,
wanted to cry.
It was the best throwback.
I was like, oh my god, it's literally the spin the bottle game at
moment.
Cheryl's place. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Because Veronica first says, she's like, this is reminding me of some like twisted, dark, like spin the bottle, like vibes, throwback. Yeah. And then it like cuts to the throwback. And I was like, okay, I'm glad that they prefaced it and then cut to.
Honestly.
I loved it.
It was so great.
Good.
And like, honestly, it really is like going back to what we were talking about earlier. It really was like the writers have literally been listening to us saying like, bring back season 1, bring back season 1, bring back season 1.
They literally brought back season 1.
Yeah, they put like parts of the episode into the show. They're like, you wanted season 1? This is all we can give you for now.
They're like, yo, NBEA wants season 1? Get her that clip.
That was the best part. Yeah, anyway.
It would have been sick if when Varchie kissed in this episode, like they cut back to like the Varchie kiss in the closet.
We should just do like cutbacks the entire time.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a pretty tense moment. Like Betty, like Veronica drinks, and then Betty drinks, and then Veronica drinks.
Yeah,
and
they're like, I'm okay, I feel okay, I'm alive.
And then the final chalice, Betty's about to drink it, but then Veronica's like, no, I'm gonna drink it. So she takes a sip.
She's like, I love you, Betty.
She's like, I love you,
I'm
girl.
gonna drink it.
It was so
Betty's like, I love
sweet.
you too. It was like, no, I love you more.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, it was cute.
I loved it.
And then Penelope just like emerges from the branches. She's like, wow. She's like, now I know who's the loyal one. And then they're like, none of the chalices were like poison. Like it was a test. She's like, no, they were all poison. She's like, you're gonna die in like 5 minutes, but it's a slow dose.
She's like, you're gonna slowly die if you don't find the antidote. I was like, wow, that's so tight.
Like so tight.
She's like, you better run, bitch. So she left. Like, that's the thing. That being said, as crazy as the storyline was, I was totally down for Penelope being like this crazy bitch.
Yeah, and she's already crazy. So good.
Like, we know she's crazy.
So good.
She did it right. So anyway, in between tasks, there's a really cute Archie and Veronica scene that we have to talk about because Archie, I think before they go to the next task, he's like, I need to stop you right here, right now, because what happened last week? Like, I know that I saw you walking with Reggie and Reggie was there, but honestly, like, I love you, Veronica. I really want to be with you. And I hope you feel the same way. And Veronica's like, I love you too, Archie kids. Like, I want to be with you. Like, nothing ever happened with like Reggie. Like, I still love you.
She's like, nothing even happened.
So what did you think about this moment?
I liked it. I really did like it.
Yeah. I was so into it. It was
really cute. I was so into it. It did bring me back to season 1. It's like, especially cutting back to that like spin the bottle 0.2 seconds got me really excited. And then I was like so down for this VARCHIE moment. And I think it worked. I think
it totally worked.
Timed out perfectly. Like,
and that's the thing. I feel like sometimes we're really hard on the like the core 4 pairings. And especially VARCHIE, because we did want to make a mix up and a shake up. But seeing VARCHIE and Archie and Veronica together in this moment, I was like, I'm totally into it. I totally support that they're getting back together in this moment because it's like literally life or death. And it was so cute. They like kiss under a tree, and like VARCHIE shippers are like crying right now. They're like
wet.
Like they're wet and crying. Like so happy. So good job, guys. I'm so happy for you guys too. So then it cuts to Jughead's task, and he needs to fight Chick, like, which is so. I get why.
It was
I totally get why, but it was also still kind of random because I'm like, why is Chick still involved in this? Like, that's the thing. As much as I was okay with the way everything wrapped up, there was still an overarching like, but why though?
Well,
like,
he does ask Chick, he's like, why are you even doing this role? Like, you're not crazy. And he's like, I want power. Like, it's finally good to feel important. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm buying this.
I guess
cool.
That's like a reach, but sure. So he fights him. He's about to like get choked out, and then he like bashes him over the head, and then he like gets knocked out. So then they run to the next task, and this also is a moment that I need to talk about because this I felt was almost like a throw to the entire season's like story plot, because the core 4 talking about how fucking crazy the storyline is was the best thing ever. Because, you know, like Veronica, I think, is talking about Chick. She's like, so Chick is the Gargoyle King and Hal is like the Black Hood and Penelope, like everyone's trying to piece it together, and they're like, it's Riverdale, guys. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's just
like they were just like, what? How does that all make sense?
Like, how are we living through this? We don't know.
Like, the writers just wrote this shit on crack. Like, we don't really know. So it definitely made it easier and more fun to watch when they're realizing themselves as characters.
They're literally exactly.
Yeah.
So the final task is Betty and Hal. This is the one that kind of didn't make my favorite sense.
Oh my God, I loved it. Oh my God, I loved it.
Hal basically is like, you have to kill me.
So good.
And Betty's like, don't make me do this. And she's holding a gun and he's holding a gun, and he's like, you have 3 seconds to make a decision.
She opens the box, and right away it was like one shot, and I was like, oh my God, she's gonna kill Hal. Like, she has to kill her dad. Let's end this story. Let's end like her demons or whatever. And then he emerges, and like I got kind of sad because like he even says, he's like, you need to kill me. Like, for your own thing, like you have to kill me. And I was like, shit, like he's actually.
But was that his whole purpose? Like, for him to like break out of jail, chase after her, have this whole situation, and then get her to do this moment? Was that what it was all about? Like, that's the part that I don't understand, is at the end of the day, he wasn't
planning to die for real, right?
But wasn't he? Because he was ready to die, but like Betty wasn't willing to kill him. That was the difference.
Oh, okay.
So she ends up shooting him in the hand. And then she was like, I'll never be like you. And then Penelope's like, oh, you're so fucking lame. So then she shoots like him in the head.
Dead ass shoots Hal in the head.
Dead. So
oh my God. And it cut back to like Betty's face, and she was like screaming, but like it was like quiet.
Yeah.
And like V and like Archie, everyone like comes and like holds her up. It was such a crazy moment.
Yeah. It was an amazing moment. I just don't understand like why he was there doing that with her. I understand like symbolism behind it, but like I don't understand why like he actually had to, like, why he was like, yes, kill me. Like, he's a serial killer. Like, why would he want to, like, why would he?
He wants her to kill someone, I guess.
Right. Which will, like, test her, like, persona. Like, she's not really evil. But then at the same time, I'm like, why does it have to be you? Like, why couldn't he force her to, like, kill one of the core 4 or something? You know what I mean? Like, gun to her head, like, you need to shoot one of your friends. Like, do it right now.
What I didn't understand was, like, why didn't Penelope just kill Chick as well? Like, she killed Hal right there. She could kill Chick too.
Yeah.
She let the guy live. It was so random. Like, why even kill Hal in that moment? I thought you loved the guy.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, as much as it was a gag moment, and like, I obviously, like,
it was just for the gag, for sure.
It fully shook everybody up, and it closed the story off, like, permanently. Like, he's not coming back from the dead or anything. But at the same time, it didn't really make a lot of sense. And anyway, I guess Penelope's just fucking crazy. So she fucking does that.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of the end. And they take the antidote and they're about to, like, get out of the forest. And Penelope's like, where do you think you're going, bitches? And Jughead says, well, we won. Like, we need to leave. And she's like, well, you, like, kind of won, but, like, I don't really care. And then she screams at all the gargoyle people, and she's like, kill them all. So she has, like, a Daenerys Stormborn moment, and she fucking kills everybody.
She's like, burn them all!
Burn them all! So she gets them, and like, they're running. It's a really cool chase scene, and then suddenly it's like,
okay,
morning.
But hold on. How weird was that time lapse shot? I was like, what the fuck?
Like, how long were they running for?
How long were they running? They ran for like 10 seconds, and it cut to the most awkward stock footage time lapse shot ever. Yeah. Like, they definitely didn't even shoot that shot. And then it's time lapse to morning, and they were running, and it was morning. I was like, you guys.
It was
did not
like the Lion King moment where, like,
so
it went from
weird.
Like daytime to nighttime. It was
almost like they couldn't hire everyone for a night shoot, so like they somehow had to, like, make it into a day shoot as well.
Yeah, it's true. So anyway, so it's like daytime now. It's like the end of the night, and they're getting out of the thing. They're almost there, and of course, in that moment, everybody rolls in. So it's like Cheryl and the Pretty Poisons and the Serpents. And finally, we realize, like, the whole point of, like, Cheryl's archery at the end of all of this, she ends up, like, getting them to, like, shoot all the gargoyles. Like, it was pretty badass. I will say it was, like, fucking pretty.
I mean, it would have been really cool to see, like, Penelope and Cheryl go up head to head for, like, a quick second. Like,
I agree.
That would have been a really cool dynamic to see, like, her saying bye to her mom, or, like, trying to, like, scare her mom away. We didn't see any of that.
She didn't.
So
yeah,
it's just like whatever. Nothing.
So they get out, and that's kind of the end of that storyline. And they all, like, win. Like, they take the antidote. Everybody's alive.
Yeah.
And they have, like, a cute hug moment at the very end. And I was like, all right, guys.
So
all right,
cute.
Riverdale. I'm into it.
I'm like, let's do it. Season 4.
I was like, season 4. I'm into
None
it.
of this
Finally.
shit. Yeah.
So let's talk about the finale sequence. So first it ends off with Jughead's story, like his voiceover, and he kind of explains, like, Hal is dead now, Chick is in jail. He does say that Penelope has escaped, like, she's missing. And then while he's talking, he's like, all is well in Riverdale. And then it cuts to Thistle House, and Cheryl is going into her room. And first I thought, like, she kidnapped her mom and she was going to, like, torture her or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then next thing you know, Cheryl literally is talking to Jason. And she's like, welcome home,
she's
Jason.
Like, welcome home, JJ.
I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, of course.
Oh my God. Like, I was like, what do you think that storyline's going to be?
I was reading this article, and RIS again, he's like, Cheryl's not crazy, she just misses her brother. So, like, I don't even know if it's gonna last. Like, maybe Tony's gonna see it next, like, season. She'd be like, girl, like, put that shit away, and, like, put that shit away. You know, like, I feel like it's not gonna go as far as we think it is.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, so then it cuts to the lodge residence. And the FBI, like, break right in. They're like, you're under arrest, Hermione. And Hermione gets arrested for the conspiracy to commit murder on your husband. And I was like, I mean, it's true. It's not
totally
like,
true. No, for sure.
She literally tried to kill him.
She's like, Mija, I'm sorry, Mija. You have no parents, Mija. Like, no, she had to expect that it was coming. Like, Hermione did fuck up for sure. Like, so... I mean, I just felt bad for Veronica. Like, she literally has no one else. Where's her grandma? Like, her grandma needs to come back to town. Yeah.
So then it cuts to Hiram in jail, and he's, like, working out like a boss.
Yeah.
And the guy comes by, and he was like, okay, it's done, sir. Like, your wife is in jail now. She's in custody. And he says something like, we planted all the evidence. I'm like, you didn't have to plant any evidence.
Yeah, I'm like,
they
there
literally
already was
tried
evidence.
to kill, like, it's the real. Like, they literally tried to kill you.
Real evidence.
So, and also, like, not even just that, like, she kills Sheriff Mineta, like, from time. Like, she is a murderer.
True.
So it's not like she is, like, totally innocent in all of this anyways, you know? So all he needed to do was find Sheriff Bonetta's body, find the gun, and then like be done with it. Like whatever. Anyways, so I'm sure that's all gonna come out in the wash in season 4. And he says something very interesting. He says, Veronica, you don't even know what's coming, mija. And I'm like, tell me more, Donnie.
Which I don't understand because I'm like, why are you punishing your daughter so much though?
I know.
It's like a little too much where it's like, okay,
what did she do to you?
Like, what did she do? She's still your daughter. Like, now she has no parents. Like,
I know.
It's just like a little dumb. Like, I feel like his move is a little dumb in the sense that like it's just gonna hurt her and it's just gonna like.
Or is it always gonna be like this, like,
more.
Like I got you. You know what I mean? Like, is
I mean,
he always
yeah,
gonna
he
play
can
this, like,
do that, but she's gonna
moment?
grow up with like a lot of daddy issues. So,
I mean, she's got daddy issues for real.
That's true.
I would love if we could, and I don't know if Mark's listening to right now, and we'll see if we can do it for you guys. But if we can get him at some point in time this summer to give us a little bit of tea, we'll try just to get him just because I really do want to know what he thinks is going to happen if he knows a lot of information on this storyline, because I don't know if I want a recycled version of what happened the last 2 seasons with him being out of jail and him causing all these schemes. But I do kind of like the fact that he's in jail and doing some shit on the outside.
But look, this is the thing. Look, logically, if you think about it, how can he still have access to all the things that he has? Like, he's in jail as much as Hermione's in jail. Like, how does he still control shit? Like, it's a little far-fetched, you know?
Yeah.
Like he just got arrested for all this shit, like, and he's still making power plays. Like,
it's true. Yeah, it's true. Like, he seems like very smug. Like, he's like totally fine with his life.
Yeah. And I get it, like, because he's at his own prison, which obviously wouldn't make sense either, guys. Like, he would not be put into his own lodge prison if he got arrested for all these things. But
that's true.
All right, fine. I'll believe that too.
So we get an Archie and Mad Dog scene, which was probably the most random scene.
Cute.
Did you like it?
It was so cute, man. Archie, like, he just like took my heart and like. He was like, you know, Veronica's like giving me this thing. Like, I own it now. It's mine. He's like, I don't want it just to be about fighting and boxing. He's like, I want it to be like a halfway home for like kids who like don't have anywhere to live.
That part was cute.
I was literally like, this is the most real storyline I've heard all season. Like, all season, if this is what we're teaching kids, you know, to do for their community and like, you know, do outreach programs, I'm like, this is amazing.
That's true.
And he even says, he's like, I want kids or like younger like generation to know that like Riverdale still has hope. Like this town isn't fucked. Like, we can fix it. And like, I love that. I love that theme. Like, it's so Archie.
And
it's
I do,
so Fred,
and that's
you know?
It's true. I do see like Archie being this person who can like that really like going back to the beginning, like some part of the season in the beginning where he has that whole moment with what's his name, Ricky. Like, we loved seeing him with kids and like him taking care of kids. So I think that if we see him become this like counselor or like big brother to all these young kids, it'll be really cool to see that as like Archie's storyline, because I think that he went so far off on this like really shitty like boxing storyline that bringing him back to being this like good-hearted, kind guy who just wants to help everybody out and wants to help his town, I'm like totally into it.
Yeah, and I think even just past Archie, I think having the core 4 and like having the bigger cast, this is their mission for next season. How do we write this town?
How do we make this town?
No, it's true though. Like, how
crazy?
do we? Like, let's do good for the town, and I love that message. I think it's gonna be good.
The one thing that I will ask you, and maybe you guys know, or maybe I missed it, but weren't they arrested for like drug charges? Like, didn't they get arrested?
You know what, JLAG? Why are you asking these questions at this point? They wrapped up everything else, homie. You couldn't just let them have this one. They wrapped up everything else.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
I think Veronica got the charges dropped, no?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. That's true, actually. I think you're right. All right, fine. So then it cuts to I guess it's still the Jones residence, but Betty's there.
Yeah.
And so there's a ring at the doorbell. They open it up and the FBI wants to talk to them.
Ooh, who's this cutie patootie?
Oh my God. First of all, guys, I didn't even know this was coming.
So cute.
But I saw this guy and he was like, he's cute AF. they wouldn't have just hired this like cute
I know.
AF,
I'm like, he better stick around town.
And he sure is, because I was so into the storyline. So
because we've had fake FBI agents before,
it's
correct?
true.
So like, I didn't know. I was like, I hope he's not a fake FBI agent.
And I mean, he still could be. We don't really know that for sure. So, but he didn't look diabolical, which I was very excited about.
He looked very cute.
And honestly, I'm like dead for the fact that, you know, like he is the half. So anyway, whatever. We're spoiling like the story the way it goes, but essentially, it turns out that the FBI has been working with an insider of the farm, and the
I love this moment again because
Alice.
Again they make fun of the show again.
Yeah,
because Betty's like, wait, you guys have been spying on the farm this long? She goes, they've been here this whole freaking time. She's like, where were you guys? Like she doing? Literally took the words out of my mouth. Yeah. I love that moment. It was so good. But yeah, then he says like, but like we've had an insider. Like she had to give us information.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, fucking Alice has been working with them this whole time. And he says, he's like, yeah, it's your mom. Actually, that's like the freaking like insider.
But the one thing that I will say is like, they literally like everybody's organs were harvested before they booked. Like they could have jumped right into that. You know what I mean? Like half of these kids got their organs taken away, and now you're gonna jump in and try to find the fucking farm. Like where were you?
It doesn't make sense.
But I will say that this moment kind of made up for it because she was like, oh, what? How does it even come up? She's like, do you know? Like, do I know? Oh no, she's like, you look familiar.
She's like, I feel like I know you. Like you feel like familiar. And he's like, actually, yeah, I'm like your brother. I'm like,
your half brother. I was like, whoa.
How does that come out? Like,
so it is Charles. He's like, that's why Charles is alive.
Which makes sense. Because Alice contacted me, like we got in touch, and then this whole thing with the farm, I guess, came out.
Right.
So it does kind of make sense, I guess.
But when do you think that happened? Like, did it happen in between the farm? Did it happen last season?
Yeah, it must have happened right after last season, like, finished.
And for one, let's not forget that Alice literally still has to make up for the fact that she was a shitty mom and she couldn't tell Betty any of this. But at the same time, like, your daughter was suffering so hard. Like, you could have at least like helped her out a little bit. She didn't have a mom the entire time and you were so absent. So I'm not going to forget that, Alice. You really have to like step forward next season.
They really, like, knowing what RAS said about Alice's character, I'm like, man, they backtracked so hard with her character.
100%.
Because if they kept her going down this stupid path of, like, being so, like, convinced by the farm, like, she wouldn't have been in season 4. Like, it would have been ridiculous.
They would have killed her off or something.
Like she disappeared or something.
For sure.
But yeah, now that she's been working, you know, she's doing her investigation, like, it's actually pretty sick. Which is what we said from the start. We said that. In the beginning of the season, we literally said, like, is Alice working as an insider? Is that what she's doing?
Yeah.
And then we kind of
that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I'm like, there's no reason why she's this crazy and stupid.
She would never do
she's
it.
Literally not even talking about her daughter or asking where her daughter is. So no, I'm glad they're going like that route with her.
They're going backwards. Yeah. One question really quickly. Where are the babies? So we have Juniper out, but like, where's Dagwood? Like, Penelope stole Nana, Dagwood, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like, where is the baby?
Nana has Juniper. I don't think Nana's gonna let that baby go.
I don't know what's gonna happen with the babies.
She's
Anyways,
like, baby,
it's kind of like pointless too, right? Like this whole like anyway, whatever.
Bro, who cares about Polly and her babies? We don't even care about Polly.
But so the gag is it's Charles and like they have a half brother and I knew that he was too hot to be a nobody. Like I already knew as soon as he walked through the door. But I will say I love the fact that they wrote him as an FBI agent because Jughead and Betty are such like amazing investigators to have their like big brother be this like
he's like a legit
he's a legit investigator. I was like, that's so cool. Like it's in their genes to be like investigative. I love it.
Apparently in the comics, I don't know which comics, but apparently in one of the comics, Betty's brother is an FBI agent. I'm like,
oh wow,
cool.
That's
I didn't know that.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the final scene, which also I loved. So they're all at Pop's Diner, which I love that the fact that they brought it all the way back to Pop's Diner.
My heart.
It was so funny because Betty, once again, they're poking fun at each other in the script and all that. And Betty's like, yeah, so my mom's like an informant and like she was an informant in the farm and my brother's an FBI agent. And all Veronica says is, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like she's like,
yeah, she's like totally makes sense.
I'll run with it. And
I can't wait to rewatch this episode because I feel like there's going to be so many good like little nuggets in there of like
for sure.
the funniest script ever because they really did a good job with this episode.
They poked fun at themselves like so much.
Yeah.
So
and then like even Archie says it too. He's like, guys, let's cheers to next year. I'm like, yes, next season.
I know. He literally says like
no
the
more
smartest
crazy
thing.
Cults, no more murders, like no more like board game like that turns into like a freaking like killing spree. Like he's like, none of this, okay?
None of this.
I'm like, got you, bro. I'm on your side.
He's like talking to RAS. He's like, please, writers, please don't do this to us ever again.
Yeah.
And so they're cheersing. And first I'm like, oh, the episode's ending so cute. Nope, it's Riverdale. It cuts to like
love this
scene. I was like, this is amazing. So it shows first it shows Archie, Betty, and Veronica, and they're and I think it says like the summer of senior year.
No, it says senior year spring break.
Oh, spring break. Okay. So now we gotta wait for spring break. This is gonna be fucking crazy, guys. So they're all like in their like underwear, and there's blood all over Archie, and he's like holding something in his hand, and they're like, we need to do this. We're gonna like burn all of our shit, including Jughead's beanie, and we're never gonna speak of this ever again.
Yeah, and we're gonna go our separate ways, and we're gonna fuck off, and that's it.
That's the only way we're like not gonna get caught. And I was like, fucking yes, this is a fucking murder, and it's gonna be like the best thing ever. And then they burn the beanie at the very end. But like Jughead's nowhere to be seen. So I guess the assumption or like what they're trying to make us feel is Jughead is dead, right? Which is probably
what's
not the
the
case.
Murder that they killed Jughead or that they killed someone else?
Right.
Like what's your theory?
So I'm going to just throw it out there. Jughead probably did something. He probably did kill someone. And now he has to be like on the run. And Jughead has to either be presumed dead or they have to just act as if like they don't know anything about what happened that day. But I don't think Jughead is like by any means going to be like graduating high school or anything. I think he's going to be the one that I don't think he's going to die.
He's a scapegoat kind of.
He's a scapegoat. Exactly. And he's going to have to like disappear. I'm not even joking, guys. This is the one thing that I will say. And I'm saying this like on my life. I was talking to NB about this today, and I was talking to her and saying, wouldn't it be amazing if this all ends off with like a flash forward? Like they do finish their like senior year because I think the senior year is like really important. But then there has to be something that happens. Like someone dies, like anybody. I don't even know who it's going to be, but like I was thinking about all these like actors, they're all growing up and like going into all these films. Like I'm sure one of them is like willing to die for the show just to get off the show. But I was like, one of them will die. And then like it'll fast forward for season 5 to like when they're like adults, and like it'll show like their relationships and how they've broken up, and like Varchie's no more and Bughead's no more, and it's like telling the story like on the other side of it. And I was like totally into that idea, and sure enough that's exactly how it all ends. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm so fucking excited.
It makes total sense. You know, I think when you said it, like I couldn't see it, but now that like I've actually legit just seen it, I'm like, no, this makes actual total sense. I think it's amazing. I think it's, you know, cutting forward to see next season is like the best teaser for all of us. Like really, like they planted the best teaser in there. But
they like pulled a How to Get Away with Murder basically is what they did.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. Which is obviously based on like older, you know, film, whatever.
Yeah.
But RES did say, he's like, you know, we've gotten away with not killing any main characters for a long time. He's like, but we really do have to get to a place where like we really do feel like we've lost someone.
They've lost somebody. Yeah.
So
I agree.
I don't know if like they're gonna kill Cole off the show. Maybe they will. Like
see, I don't know if I don't know if I see Cole dying, but I do definitely see like one of the secondaries. I see Cheryl leaving.
But that's what he was trying to say. He was like, we've done that already. Like we've killed all the we've killed secondary characters before. It's not the same, right?
But
like,
people will care. Like people will care if Cheryl dies for sure.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that happening. Anyway. That is the episode, guys. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about this, like during this live chat, of course, but also during our live rap party that we're going to have tomorrow. So make sure you guys are just signing up on patreon.com. We'll plug it at the end of this podcast as well. But
like we're going to be on video. So you guys can tune in like online with like texting whatever, emailing, tweeting us. But we're going to be actually on video so you can see us, and we're going to be chatting with you guys at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. So,
and like, this is the podcast to be a part of. Like, this is the one. Like, I'm so excited to talk about it with you guys in more detail and know your guys' thoughts. I'm so excited.
And like a whole discussion. And I want to hear what you guys have to say too.
For sure. So before we finish off the entire podcast, let us get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment.
What was your best moment, girl?
My best moment has to go to I think the spin the bottle little game there with the cut to flashback throwback to season 1. I loved it. I was so happy, and I think it really does make me feel like they want to do more season 1 stuff next season, and that it makes me happy.
It's just season 4 is just going to be flashbacks of season 1, like the entire the entire season. My best moment is gonna go to them leaving the woods. I thought that was a really cool like hero moment. It felt like very Avengers, and it was like super cool to see, you know, like the pretty poisons come out while they were running. It was like a really well shot. I liked it a lot.
WTF moment.
What was your WTF moment?
My WTF moment, I think, like there was a lot. Like there really was a lot at the end. So I think one of them, the first one being like Cheryl keeping dead Jason. I was like, bitch, what? I'm like, oh my God, like you're so crazy. And basically I think everything that happens in like in the last, I would say 2 minutes of the episode, I was like, gag,
for sure.
I'll let you take that. I'll let you take the rest.
My WTF moment is definitely gonna be Penelope killing Hal, because I was like, whoa, you like really just didn't care about him at all. And also definitely the finale shot. I was so like WTF, but at the same time so fucking excited about next season. Like if there was anything that you could leave us on, this was way better than the season finale of season 2. Like
oh for sure.
Like Archie going to jail, don't even care. This I
care.
Care. Like this is like some I know what you did last summer shit. Like I'm so fucking into it. Like it's giving me all the feels. I'm so excited.
And you're so right. Like there has to be a turning point in the core 4 where they do
break.
They do walk away from each other. Like there has to be that in their relationship for sure.
And that's the thing. Like we were like, once again, I was talking about this with NB earlier, and I was saying like we wanted that with the parents, but we never really got there with the parents. Yeah. So let's get it with the you know with the core 4. I'm totally into it.
Yeah.
MVP.
Who's your MVP?
MVP is gonna go to Alice Cooper. I think finding out that like she wasn't a waste woman this whole time and that she's been working undercover.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy.
So happy about it. My MVP is gonna go to the core 4. I know it's not one person, but
for sure.
Like they really like all pulled through. I'm so proud of all of them. They make me so happy.
They did amazing, especially Archie. I really did love that scene that he has with Mad Dog, and he kind of like hypes up his character for the next season too. So I think core 4, Archie, for sure.
LVP.
Who is your LVP?
LVP is gonna go to FP because like he still didn't do shit all.
Yeah,
he still couldn't fuck Alice all season. He basically told his son, he's like, we better solve this case. And FP Jughead's like, yeah, I'm on it, but like, what are you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
Like you lost your wife in the meantime too. You couldn't even keep your wife. Like, what did you do all season? You did shit all.
What were you doing? I agree. My LVP, I know this is like a bit of a weak thing to say, but it is going to be Kevin still.
No, you're right, for
sure. Just because like I'm done with his character. I'm over him being naive and gullible, and I really am hoping that they bring him around. Or if he gets killed off. Like either way, whichever works for me.
The best line.
Yeah.
What was your best line?
My best line is going to go to Veronica when she goes, "My heart ached for you. I love you, Archiekins." And I was like, Archiekins. I missed her saying Archiekins, and it totally, again, took me back to season 1, season 2, when they were like so good. It was really cute.
My best line is gonna go to our girl Betty Cooper when her and Veronica have to drink from the chalices, and she's like, "I love you. You're my best friend." I don't know which one says it. Maybe it's not Betty. Maybe it's Veronica. But like, I just loved their bringing it all the way back to like their relationship with each other. We never got to see a lot of Betty and Veronica moments this season. So seeing it in this last episode, I like wanted to cry. Like, they were so cute. The fact that she like drank that last cup for her, I was like, they're so adorable. So I love them so much. Yeah, for sure. So those are recap roundups. But I think y'all got some too now.
We did.
Okay. Let's talk about Apple's Master Radios first. His best moment was everything about the episode. So it'll take me a while to narrow it down to just one moment. So he liked everything. His WTF moment was the flash forward. His MVP was a lot, but he's going to go with Jughead. And he calls us out. He's like, and you guys for putting the big reveal together. I'm like, yes, thanks. And then the LVPs are Kevin and Fangs for being stubborn farmies. And best line, don't have one this time, but I love the episode. Everyone was really happy about this season finale.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. We also have a roundup from Becca. Her MVP is Betty and Jughead for figuring everything out. I also have to give it to Cheryl, LVPs, Penelope, Hal, and Chick, but mostly Penelope. She's just plain evil. Best moment goes to Ronnie trying to save Betty. For sure, that was very cute. Yeah. Best lines, this is more like Russian roulette and Jughead saying something about there are killers trying to kill each other and they coming something up. Covering something up.
Covering something up.
Her WTF moment, Penelope did this for the most stupid reason. Yeah. Alice knowing the farm is bad and staying. For sure. Like, I definitely feel like Alice kind of pushed it too much, even if she was working undercover. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It was a little bit much.
Like, girl, like extra.
We got one from at Ka Loves You 3000. Her MVP was Veronica. The extra drink for Betty, that was like amazing. And Alice, the boss ass FBI agent, and Cheryl and Tony because of the end. We do get a cute Shoni moment for sure. Yeah, for sure. LVPs, Kevin and Fangs, and WTF, the flash forward, and best line, the hunt is afoot by Nana Rose.
Aww,
Shout out to Nana Rose.
Yes, Nana Rose. She my girl.
That is the episode though, guys. Like, wow, so we are done for the season.
I'm so excited. Honestly, guys, I really hope we get you guys tomorrow night at 8, because like this one was our podcast. Tomorrow's gonna be all about the discussion and like breaking it down and like really having a chat about the episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm really excited for it. But for those of you guys who can't make it, it's honestly been such a pleasure this season talking you through it and walking through it with all of you guys. I know like some of us didn't agree on a lot of things. Some of us agreed on so much of it. And it's really only been enjoyable because we've been able to kind of like get through it together, but also with you guys, and hearing all your comments has really helped us get through the season, especially this last half for sure.
Yeah, this season, I'm sure you guys know, was probably the most frustrating for us. Yeah. But you know, and we do this like late night times, you know, rushing to get it out to you guys. So to hear you guys comment and like to hear you guys like say your thoughts of the episode, it means so much to us. Yeah. It makes us feel like we're doing this for our something. Fans out there, for someone. And we love when you guys call us out too, because then it's like a discussion and we get to like check ourselves as well. So absolutely, it's just fun sharing it with you guys and our listeners. Yeah,
we're so thankful. Thank you so much. I want to take this time to thank our patrons of the episode and the season. Thank you so much to our Lit Rewinders, Tina Ann, Sarge, Serena, and Kate, and our Mommy Rewinders, Becca, Sarah, and Tamala.
And if you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind. If you join, you'll get access to all things Recap Rewind, exclusive content, and updates. And you get to be a part of our very special season finale wrap party tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be streaming video. We're going to have a live discussion with you guys, our watchers, but you can only join if you're a part of our Patreon. So be sure to sign up tomorrow.
Yeah. So exciting. And also make sure you guys are checking us out on all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. And you can also find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iTunes. Like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks again so much for listening.
See you next season. Woo! Next season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, next season. Bye.